welcome to Kit Guru. You are here with me, Christina, and I'm going to take you through Corsair's first gaming headset featuring haptic bass. This is the HS60 Haptic. With an RRP of $119.99, I'm expecting some serious bass that is going to blow me away, as well as a balanced sound profile for gaming and lots of other things too. Have you subscribed yet? If not, click the button and the bell icon. It takes 2 seconds, it supports us for free, so we can keep delivering you the information that you want to see and hear. So now let's jump on into the good vibrations of the HS60 Haptic by Corsair. The box is the usual outer cardboard shell with a plastic insert, making sure the headset isn't thrown around during transit. There is also a nice bracket over the front to ensure that this doesn't happen. Also in the box comes a phone mic pop shield, the detachable mic and the manual. Upon pulling the headset out, you can absolutely feel the quality of the materials here. The pleather is really thick and it's really smooth to touch. It feels like a super expensive luggage bag. The stitching looks fantastic on the inside of the headband, which is a metal internal headband, by the way, reinforced with aluminium, and it is generously padded. This feels really durable even from the outside. This is certainly a sturdy design and no rattle here either. We can see the slim profile oval ear cups as named by Corsair, and these have the internal memory foam with a pleather outer. I feel they could have been a little bit more generous with that memory foam here, but if they are going for that slim design, I understand the choice. On the shell of the cups is a camo pattern. I'm not a huge fan of camo personally, however it is really well done. It doesn't look tacky or badly painted, it almost looks as if it's hydro dipped with this even pattern, but even though I do say it is well done, you can feel the edges of the paint in some areas. This could lead to chipping. I'm not sure, maybe over time it would. The pattern and shell is plastic, surrounded by this high gloss black plastic edging. Then on the outer side of the cups we have metal grills with the Corsair ship logo. To be honest, I love these grills, they absolutely look fantastic. There are some details I just want to mention. I love the fact that there is measurements on the inside of the metal adjustment rail, which by the way is really smooth and easy to use. This rail also runs through to become the suspension frame for the cups. I think that having the measurements on here is a great idea, so you know where you are and what your favourite position is. If you're taking these travelling and you lose your favourite adjustment height, or you give them to a friend to try, no worries, pop it back to the exact same place using those measurements. Also, I'm enjoying the fact that on either side of these adjustment rails there is rubber joinings. They could have just gone for plastic on these bits, but this feels so much nicer in the hand and adds to that attention to detail. Also, they allow tilt, so you should be able to find that right fit, but it's not a full-on 360 twist, it is just a small adjustment circle here. However, I feel this is more than enough to find the right fit for me, and it was really comfortable even after hours of gaming. The headset does really open up. I mean, you need a big head for this not to fit. The clamp force is quite loose though. I did feel that the sound gets in easily due to this and the pleather cups. The cups themselves also tilt inwards and outwards, which helps you to be able to choose the level of force you want to, but even after adjustment it is still a little bit loose. There is a slight amount of wobble when you move your head quickly, and I did notice this when looking down at my lap to look at my phone or tipping my head back to drink. Luckily it doesn't fall off, but it sure does move. The headset is not heavy either, so it doesn't drag down on your head causing pressure points, which is obviously a bonus. The inside of the cups have a fabric that is really soft to touch, something you really wouldn't particularly notice or care about, but they've done it anyway. Also, have you noticed there are hardly any wires showing at all, apart from the main one of course. There is concealed audio wiring here, which remains concealed even when the headset is fully extended. I like this. I think it gives a really clean and chic look to the device. It also means that you shouldn't be adding wear to those wires as if they were exposed. Talking of things that are missing, there's no RGB. That is probably a relief for some of you and a massive shock to others. I'm a huge RGB fan, but in this case I can see why they didn't go with RGB. This headset looks really classy, and again it does remind me of an expensive piece of luggage or the dash of a really expensive car. bar the camo of course. So I guess they wanted to keep the understated look by going dark. The controls feel really well made. The volume wheel, which is on the left cup, is really accurate. It makes a nice click when you use it. The haptic scroll wheel, which is on the right, however, has very little tactility, and you may be thinking, oh no, that's not good, but you can roll this to any micro position that you want. There is no snapping here, so you can adjust the haptic effect just to exactly the right level, even if that requires the smallest of adjustments. I get the reason why they went with this on the haptic wheel in that case. There's a nice clicky mic mute button, however there is no LED indicator, but it does have sound to tell you if the mic is on or off. I found that this button was actually really smooth, and sometimes I couldn't find where it was as it's also quite flat to the headset, but I did soon get used to that. Talking of the mic, the keyed hole where the mic goes has a little rubber bung, probably the size of like 2 peas together. Okay, I couldn't think of anything small enough, but how easy is that going to be to lose? I mean, surely it would have been better to attach it with some kind of cord or make it part of the port, I don't know, something, so that you're not going to lose it and never see it again. The mic itself, however, is really well made. It starts with the rubber keyed end and goes along to the metal arm, ends with the microphone that has a little picture of a mic to show which way round to speak into it. Of course, you then attach the phone pop shield. Next, I had a play with the cable. Starting at the top, it's really well attached to a sturdy and almost break-proof flexible coupler. Over time, I think this would hold up really well, even from the odd yank when you forget to take the headset off. This didn't happen to me, honest. The cable itself is stiff, and I thought, oh no, it's going to be so kink friendly, but no, actually it stays really straight, and any kinks even right out of the box are so easy to get rid of. Also, a super tight and smooth braid, which seems to be pretty fray resistant and non-catching. The cable is non-detachable and ends with a USB-A. Okay, so it looks and feels great, but for $119.99 I need more. So I loaded up Call of Duty, and if you've seen any other of my headset reviews, I always test headphones with Call of Duty because in my opinion it has the best environment to test out orientation, the experience, the bass, and even those little details in the high frequencies. Now this is going to be even more exciting because we have an added level of immersion with haptics. We have reviewed Razer's Nari Ultimate, which uses LumaFusion haptics, and you can check that out here at Kit Guru. There are other headsets with haptics such as the Afterglow Level 5X, so not exactly new technology, but it's a first for me and a first for Corsair. Also, the haptics are traction technology, so I'm excited to experience the good vibrations or the bad. If you're unsure of what haptics is, then a quick overview. Haptics are in controllers, phones, yep, even headsets, and it basically is vibration based on the sound you hear to help immerse you in the gameplay or movies or whatever you're listening to or playing with at the time. So I thought, as a newbie to haptics, let's crank them up to full. I mean, what could go wrong, right? And my feedback is it's like having a cinema on your head. It's really intense. Orientation though was much better in game. I could tell where I was getting shot from and where the explosions were going off with far more accuracy, as the rumble helps feel the direction of the sound as well as hear it. The cups vibrate independently. If there is a large explosion on the left cup will vibrate more than the right, and so on. It was a little distracting. I was kind of just waiting for the haptics to kick in, but that did wear off after a while when I got used to it and the kind of novelty wore off. Playing without the haptics does feel really empty though. The immersion is really amplified. Even playing the cutscenes, it genuinely felt like a cinema where you can feel the bass in your chest, except for this time it's on your head. Really, really good. I enjoyed it. The higher you crank the volume, the harder the haptics work. This vibration isn't like the kind of vibration you get on a controller because it's not as harsh. It feels like the intensity starts and drops off on controllers, but with this there's varying levels of vibration. It's not harsh. It's almost as if you're standing right there when you get shot or a bomb goes off. I went into the iCUE software, and at first I was using the pure direct setting, and this had a really well-rounded sound profile, lovely deep bass, the mids had great depth, and you could clearly hear speaking and clicks and footsteps. When I switched to the FPS competitive mode, it changed the setting that the mids are more prominent, as you can see from the EQ slider here, and you can also see that that movie theatre, clear chat and bass boost all have their own EQ, or you can create your own. In the software, you can also change mic volume, side tone, it lets you hear your own voice, so you can select the right volume and distance, etc. You can also enable and disable voice prompts. That's what tells you when the mic's on or off. The auto audio repositioning can also be enabled in the software, which I would recommend as it is supposed to fix any issues you may encounter with surround sources such as Chrome or YouTube that can cause the audio driver problems in some cases. You can also use these headphones with Windows Sonic. This is not all that special as it can be used with any headphones, earbuds or headsets. The idea is though it makes all your movies and games sound more immersive and enables games to play audio with better accuracy. You have to enable this through your control panel though, and it is off by default. I found the difference between having Windows Sonic on and off with movies and gaming made the sound profile slightly different, and I could hear the top end a little more, and I also noticed that the sound was fuller because the audio placement was slightly better too. Please be aware though, once this is enabled, the iCUE EQ presets are disabled. I personally say for watching movies, this headset is really epic. Gaming is good, don't get me wrong, but movies are fantastic because you can fully look forward to every bump, bang, crash. Whereas in game, especially if you're playing Call of Duty, it kind of put me off as I mentioned earlier. If you play a game such as Elder Scrolls Online or Hearthstone, it's still enjoyable, but obviously there's not as many points that the haptic kicks in. So some may like this if you're wanting an immersive experience, but on a more subtle level. Music is fantastic. It gives a whole nother level to the story of the song. However, I did notice that there was some very slight distortion that led to the headset cutting out with some songs. And if the game got a bit audibly busy in regards to explosions, etc., this also happened. So I thought it might have been a frequency issue or a safety feature or some sort of overloading. However, it turns out that this happened because the device wasn't getting enough power. I removed the headset from the front I/O of my case and moved it to a USB 3 port from the motherboard. This then resolved the issue, but it also can happen if you have high power draining peripherals, so make sure that you're not using any kind of extension or a 2.0 port, as this most likely will not provide enough power and you'll most likely experience the cutting out as mentioned. The sound profile and quality itself is very similar to that of my own headset, which is the Razer Kraken Kitty Quartz headset. They have the same kind of sound profile and they both sound fantastic. I use the Razer Kraken headset as my daily driver, and I would say actually the haptic headset is better. This headset is most definitely not a gimmick headset. It is built with great care and attention to detail. The sound profile is very well balanced. The bass is powerful without making the rest of the frequencies muddy. The highs are well presented and there is no distortion. It doesn't sound tinny at all. Not forgetting the mids here either, as they are very much present and fill the space to create a much wider and immersive sound. Next, I'm going to talk to you about the detachable noise cancelling microphone, which is Discord certified, by the way, so here is the mic test. Hello guys, so today I am going to be talking through the HS60 Haptic mic by Corsair. So we're going to start off this test with me speaking and saying some P's, so p, some B's, b, and some S's, s, s. So I will also talk in my normal voice, which is about here, and I will also talk a little bit louder, and I will also talk a little bit quieter. This is me talking totally normally, and we'll just do some background noise. So we've got the tapping. I've also got a fan on in the background because it's pretty cold here in England at the moment. You might be able to hear that too. We've got some clicks going on. And we've got some scrolling going on. And we'll just do some typing. I had the mic 3 fingers width away from my mouth, as I always have my mic, and as you can hear, it is a pretty sensitive microphone. P's and breathy syllables are picked up pretty strongly, but other than that, there is no distortion on high levels of volume, and it still picks up the lower volumes. You can of course hear the background taps and clicks because it is a unidirectional mic, but you cannot hear the fan in the background very much, for example, and that is most likely due to the noise cancelling that the mic has to offer. All round, I think it is a really nice clear sound, perfect for shouting commands to your fellow teammates. Okay, so let's run over some pros and cons just to go over what we've spoken about today. Pros: quality of the materials. Detailing, sturdy design, no rattle, concealed audio wiring, the adjustments, the tilting frame and headband markings, good controls, non-kink cable, smooth braid, no fray, no catch. It's really comfortable, phenomenal and unique experience in my opinion, hugely increases immersion, great sound in general and not a gimmick. It helped with orientation in games like Call of Duty 2. Some cons now: I'm not a fan of camo. That's obviously subjective. No LED indicator on the mic and hard to find the buttons sometimes, or at least initially. Tiny rubber bung could go missing. Paint feels like it could chip as you can feel the edges. A little wobbly in terms of up and down motions. Very slight distortion that led to the headset cutting out, but this was resolved by putting it into a USB 3 port and making sure I didn't have high draining peripherals. So my conclusion, I would say that this headset is great. It's a great all-rounder for all types of media and gaming, with a nice little extra, which is that haptic feedback. The haptic feedback is either a love or hate thing, I think, but with so many levels that you can control using the wheel on the right cup, that you can have it very subtle or blow your head off with it and turn it all the way up, which I would say actually is probably a little too intense for me. I would definitely say that this headset is worth the price tag, and you can get an all-round great sound for gaming, as well as it makes all kind of media much more immersive and enjoyable. So what do you guys think of haptic? Have you had a haptic headset before? Let us know down in the comments. My name's Christina, this is Kit Guru. Make sure you check out our Kit Guru website, kitguru.net, and our merch, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.